What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk to you about Lucid. In fact, this is my second Lucid video of the day. So I'm putting this one out at this ungodly hour only because I see a lot of individuals talking about one specific tweet. So I wanted to kind of go over that and kind of give my 2 cents on it. Before we get into any of that, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. On a side note, during the overnight trading, Lucid is up 1.31%, kind of low volume. So something, again, just to kind of keep in mind. One thing as well, for those of you that have been watching my channel, the big thing for Thursday evening was the Bank of Japan interest rate decision, and it did come in based on the forecast. So they did raise it 0.25%. So that could cause a little bit of a domino over the next little bit. So it won't be instantaneous, but you will start to see kind of big money leaving equities, most likely, because by them increasing their rates, that's going to be more of a rotation out of American bonds into obviously local Japanese bonds. And based on what they stated, they're actually wanting to continue to raise rates up until they get to about 3 to 3.25%. So in general, there's going to be a little bit of a pinch on the bond market. And again, that's going to trickle down to the equities. So something just to keep in mind. But still, it won't be instantaneous. But nonetheless, getting right to the hot topic, this. So Nick, who is the head of communications for Lucid, he kind of put out this tweet at 9:22 early this morning, so Thursday. I didn't really see it initially, or else I would have brought it up in my earlier video, but a lot of people are talking about this and kind of mixed as far as how this is being interpreted. So, Lucid investors, we know it's been a challenging period for our long-term holders. We are focused on execution and being transparent. As our CFO 𝗖𝗢𝗡𝗘𝗖𝗧 has said, we have a strong liquidity runway, including a undrawn $2 billion PIF credit facility, and we refinanced $2 billion of converts this year, extending maturities to 2030 and 31, while the EV market is volatile, and blah, blah, blah. So in general, my takeaway is that this is crap. Like, if you actually do take a step back and just read what he's saying, I know a lot of people are very, very bullish or either very bearish on Lucid based on this, at least their interpretation of it. He's not really saying too much. He's pretty much saying too bad, so sad, and that they technically have a lot of money at their disposal going forward. So he obviously this right here saying that we have a strong liquidity runway, including a $2 billion undrawn PIF, blah, blah, blah. So for those of you that have been following me covering Lucid, even way back in the day under Financial Journey, I've been 100% accurate on when they need to dilute. And even most recently, I said end of Q3, early Q4, they're going to be needing more money. Lo and behold, that's exactly what happened. Despite Gagnon saying that they have sufficient amount of money well into 2026. So for those of you guys haven't caught on, we're not in 2026 yet. And 𝗖𝗢𝗡𝗘𝗖𝗧 said that we have sufficient amount of cash well into 2027. First half of 2026, we're going to need more money, on a side note. So fun fact. So I think just Lucid, and it started with Sherry House. Sherry House, Gagnon, 𝗖𝗢𝗡𝗖𝗧, all don't really know what the hell they're really talking about, in my opinion, for this. So, but still, getting back down to the point, right here, we are focused on execution and being transparent. Again, coming from someone who's actually covered and like paid attention to Lucid, like they are not transparent whatsoever, because there was this that came out within the last month, and it obviously is talking about Eric Bach and how technically Eric is suing Lucid for defamation. But right here says Eric, on a side note, you can kind of see this was the title right here. So EV rejects claims and Bach lawsuit, blah, blah, blah. But Bach was viewed internally as a significant factor behind repeated product delays, with his team failing to establish proper design controls and governance over engineering changes, leading to costly setbacks through the supply chain. So when it comes down to that, this was new information, definitely by far new information. So going back over here, I would not say that Lucid has been transparent, because they actually always just said supply chain issue, supply chain issue. So it wasn't actually supply chain issue, it was mismanagement by 𝗪𝗓𝗡𝗡𝗘𝗧. And what makes things even more infuriating is another hot topic since 2021 was the fact that Eric, Michael, you had Peter, all of them extremely overpaid. And still, Mark, 𝗪𝗓𝗡𝗡𝗧, all of them are just like, it's at this point, just nobody really gives a crap anymore. They're just like throwing money at them because nobody really cares, to be fully honest. But what's interesting about this is Lucid wasn't transparent. They've just been kind of using the blanket supply chain issues, talking about magnets and all that other crap. But technically, 𝗪𝗓𝗡𝗡𝗧 received a performance award. How messed up is that? How messed up is that? This came out June 17th, 2025. And even prior to that, in 2024, Eric actually, I think it was Eric and Peter, they both got, it was, I think, close to $1 million essentially. That's what it worked out to be as a Gravity Performance Award. So 𝗪𝗓𝗡𝗡𝗧 has received numerous, massive amounts. Probably this is going to be more than what a lot of people will even make in their lifetime, possibly, like in just stock compensation for doing a good job. But behind the scenes, Lucid sees and saw 𝗪𝗓𝗡𝗡𝗧 as kind of a liability. So when it comes down to being transparent, I do not think that Lucid and transparency should be in the same sentence. So, and I get it. This might be not attacking Nick per se, but I think in general, Nick, Mark, they got inherited a crap show. And Peter, like, he kind of seems to me like a mad scientist, had no business concept whatsoever. He just loved technology, but he really ran a very crappy show. Nick and, like I said, Mark, they inherited that. So no hate towards Nick. And I know, coming from like a legality standpoint, you're pretty much bound to based on what you can actually say. So I think based on this, it is worded well, and probably it is the best that he can actually say right now. But still, I would not even think about adding transparency into the wording for Lucid. And you see a lot of other individuals really calling Lucid out and saying that like they shouldn't even be talking and blah blah blah. So this guy right here goes over, obviously retweets Nick's comment and just pretty much says that they need to cease making promises. And honestly, I also do agree with that aspect, because one thing that Peter loved to do, and Mark kind of also started to use that as well early on, they dangled a carrot saying partnership. Bulls love it. Bulls will see, hey, look, you know what, the partnership, I'm going to buy more. Nothing came to fruition. And I think that's just maybe their strategy that they love to use. So I think also going forward, Lucid should not ever use the word transparency in any of their sentences, nor should they ever use partnership. Anything. Do not use the word partnership unless you have a damn signed document in front of your face that they cannot back out of and that it is guaranteed. At that stage, then yes, tell the world that you have a partnership that is going to be announced soon. Until that does actually come to fruition, I better not see anything about partnership coming out of Mark or whatever. So, and Mark actually just recently did that. He sounded more optimistic this time, but so has Peter. Peter kind of mentioned numerous times that he was very optimistic about the foreseeable future. Mark recently mentioned in an interview saying that big things are going to be coming at the upcoming Investor Day, or like Tech Day or whatever it was. So I think in general, Lucid's trying, but they need to really like get their act together. So I just wanted to kind of talk about this tweet because a lot of people are kind of voicing their opinions on it. You can kind of even see 60 people have retweeted it. So yeah, let me know your general thoughts on this. Do you think it is well worded? Do you think that they should just refrain from even doing any of these types of responses? Like, what's your kind of general thoughts? And then yeah, hopefully you guys are all having a solid evening, and stay tuned for my video tomorrow where I go over some data points and whatever else. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.